If you've watched my previous videos, I'm sure by now you know why coffee chats are important for longer term value creation and establishing a deeper network rather than just immediate short term gains. And if you have not watched them, I highly recommend you check out my two videos on how to get people to get on a coffee chat with you, and the second one on how to prepare for a coffee chat. But now that you're here, welcome back to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to tell you three things that you should do to have a great coffee chat with whoever you're talking to. And make sure that you subscribe and stay on this video till the end, because there's a bonus tip that I have added which most people miss out on, and that is something that you should always do after you're done with your coffee chat. So without further ado, let's dive into number 1. Have good icebreakers ready. I don't want to start this video by giving you basic hygiene things like go on the call on time or dress professionally. I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you're smart enough to know those things, and you don't need me yapping around for 10-20 minutes just telling you that you should wear professional attire. But something that I really want to urge you to do is to research the person and have some icebreakers ready for the conversation. And you know where you even apply these things? It's usually in the first question of the call, which is, how are you? Someone asks you, how are you? You ask them, how are you back? And instead of just saying things like, fine, thank you could be revealing some things about your personality or asking them things about their experiences and their backgrounds. Like instead of just saying, how are you? Say, hey, how are you doing? How was your weekend? Or like, do you have any fun weekend plans? And they might say that they are going to visit their parents in so and so city or state, wherever. And if you've been there, you're like, oh, I have actually visited that place and I did this activity over there and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Is that where you're originally from, or is it just some place that your parents stay in right now? And then they would say something more, and so on and so forth. You just go on and have this conversation for about 1.5-2 minutes, but now they start looking at you as a person, which is exactly how you should be looking at that person too. You're actually having a human connection, a human conversation. This is not an interview. This is two people talking, building a rapport, building a relationship, which could lead to something more fruitful professionally in the longer term. If you have that mindset, I can assure you that the quality of your calls is going to increase tremendously going forward. If you saw my previous video, you would have noticed that how my research on someone's LinkedIn actually revealed something about their interest in plants, and then I used that in the icebreaker, and that led to a very fruitful relationship which actually got me an interview invite at that company. So all I'm saying is use your icebreakers wisely, be personable, ask them how are you creatively, and answer that creatively, sharing more details about yourself and asking them more things about their background. Number 2, drive the conversation properly and ask insightful questions. In my previous video, I've already covered how you can prepare for a coffee chat and research the person and ask insightful questions. But now I want you to remember that if you have booked a call with someone, the onus of driving that conversation is on you, not on them. So if there are any uncomfortable pauses in between, that's most likely because of you and not because of them. So, what you should be doing over here is that after your how are yous and your intros are done, make sure you say that, hey, I wanted to have this conversation with you to discuss X, Y, or Z, whatever agenda you have. It can be to learn more about their role, to learn more about their transition from industry X to Y. Whatever it is that you have decided, make sure you reiterate that and then start asking your questions. It will allow you to segue smoothly from the intros to the Q&A side, and then whatever research you've done, you ask those detailed, deep, non-Googleable questions in this period. Make sure that the person does not feel like it's a rapid fire. They're sitting with Karan Johar and coffee with Karan and just like having questions thrown at them left, right, and center. Make it seem like it's a conversation where you're genuinely interested in learning more about their experiences and their background, some of the decisions that they took, why they made certain choices, and you actually want to learn and apply some of those things to your life, so you're a curious person. Number 3, and this is really important, which is how do you close the call? So when you're ending this conversation with this person, I'm assuming that you've made a good impression on them, you've asked them insightful questions and also shared more about what kind of a future you want for yourself, what kind of things you want to do in your career. So of course, thank them for their time, but something you could do is to ask them, hey, is there anyone in your network who you recommend that I connect with? Now, what this ensures is that you get some sort of a warm intro to someone else and you establish this chain. From one person, you reach two more people, then you speak with those two people and you connect with three more people like that. And that's how you establish this chain, which is going to be really helpful in expanding your career, expanding your network, and making you get access to more opportunities in the future. So, this is a very good question to ask if you've had a good coffee chat with someone, which, if you're doing all these things, I'm sure you will. Another thing that you could potentially ask towards the end of the call is that, hey, is there any project on your team where I could add value, where my skills and experiences could add some value to the project and I'm happy to work pro bono on it? Doesn't always work. Sometimes it can look transactional if you say that, even though you are offering your time for free. But that person will be like, dude, did you just want to talk to me because you want some internship? So tread lightly over here. I have personally used it in some conversations, and the projects have materialized much later in the future for me and not at that very moment. I know some other friends of mine who have managed to find projects for themselves with some startups like this. So it really depends on how the conversation has gone, and you have to really use some judgment over there, but it's something you could consider doing. And now, finally, the bonus tip that I was talking about. When you end your call within the first 24 hours, ensure that you are sending this person a thank you email. Do not send generic thank you emails where you just say, hey, thank you for your time and it was great talking to you. Ensure that you include one or two insights from whatever they said in that email so that it actually looks like you were learning something, you were interested in something, and you had a good experience and got some insights that you would like to use in the future. If you are looking for a thank you email template, I have attached one in the description below, which you can grab for free. It's nothing too fancy, it's very basic, but if you need some guidance or some help, I'm sure like you could use it and find some value in it. But never not send a thank you email, and I'll tell you why. There have been instances where I was actually interviewing people and something happened later on, like they did not get the outcome that they were desiring. And I went back to my inbox to look for like our email communication so I could reach out to them and offer some support. I mean, that's actually very nice of me to do that. But I never found any email. So now I would have had to use an extra step of going into the database and finding their thing on the portal, like their coordinates and stuff. And then I'm like, why should I even bother reaching out to you? I gave you so much of my time. I gave you so many insights and so on and so forth. But you never even acknowledged any of that. So I also don't really want to help you anymore, even though I had full intention of doing so. So sometimes such things could happen. And if you just send a thank you email, that establishes a chain of communication so that in 2-3 months, if you want something from that person again, it's easier for you to reach out to that person on that thank you email thread, where they know that this person was very respectful, very kind, and really appreciated the time and efforts that I invested in them. So yes, I should be helping them again. Just a tip if you want to use it. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And if you have any suggestions for other videos that I should be making, drop them in the comments below. And if you have any further questions, also drop them in the comments below and I will be happy to answer them. I'll see you in future videos.